Welcome everyone to Old Roommates. Today on the show, we revisit 1995's Home for the Holidays, just in time for Thanksgiving. So grab a football and a turkey and a shred of love for your family as we revisit this Jodie Foster directed film.
Welcome, everyone, to Old Roommates, the only podcast that revisits pop culture through a middle-aged lens. This is Christina.
And this is Brian.
And we are revisiting Home for the Holidays. And we start our episode, as we always do. We will revisit our past.
Ooh, you never said it that way.
No, I didn't, but I may do it from now on. Brian, Tell us about your history with Home for the Holidays. When was the first time you watched this film?
I definitely saw this in a movie theater.
Oh my gosh.
So this is November 3rd, 1995. This is 28 years ago. It's crazy to think that 95 was 28 years ago.
It makes me feel get old.
I know. I don't like doing it either, but it's the truth. And started in the movie theater. I don't remember with who, and I didn't like it.
Really?
The only saving grace was I really loved Annebancroft.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she seemed like I just felt it was trying too hard to be wacky and zany. Because, Christine, you know, my family, I have a very big, loud family.
You sure do.
This should be a very easy match. This should be a very easy watch for me. And when I remember seeing it back in 1995 and being like, wow, it just doesn't feel real. It's trying too hard. Something isn't quite right. It doesn't feel right. But I did think Bancroft was incredible. But this is why we do this. We revisit things, even things we didn't even like, just to see how they resonate through a middle-aged lens. How about you?
Definitely. And my question to you is, now you lived at home back in 1995, correct?
I was 20, how old was I, 95, 23? So no, I moved out when I was 22.
But it's not, you weren't living out in a different state. It wasn't
no.
It wasn't
I was
like
in
you had
Bridgewater.
to
Yeah.
travel home for holidays,
I
is
see
what
what
I'm
you're
asking.
saying. Yes.
So, and you're saying, no, you were in the States and you...
I was in Massachusetts. Okay. My family was in Massachusetts.
Perfect.
How about you?
Thank you for finally asking. So, I watched this movie at home. Mm-hmm. I did not watch it in the movie theater. And it's so funny when I think back, when you ask that question, when was the last time you watched it? And whenever it's at home, I picture myself on my couch watching the movie. But obviously, my current couch.
Oh, funny.
But obviously, it was not in my current couch. Isn't that funny? How I just realized that. Yeah, I was watching HBO on my couch. Anyway, I saw it on, video or something. I think I might have rented this, actually. Yeah. Because it looks like it's going to be a great movie. With the cast. The cast is amazing. Yeah. Claire Danes is in it, Holly Hunter, Robert Downey Jr., like you said, Annebancroft, Charles Durning. It just goes on and on and on and on.
Steve Guttenberg.
Who I forgot was in it. So I'm pretty sure I rented it. It was probably during the days of when I was working at the video store.
Okay.
And I did like this movie. I didn't like it as much as I thought I was going to, based on the cast and based on just the storyline itself. Is this Jodie Foster's directorial?
No. She did a film called Little Man Tate.
Oh my God, I remember that movie. Yeah. I don't think I ever saw it, but I remember.
It's her second film.
So it just seemed like a good movie. And I was expecting it to be really, really, really funny. Mm-hmm. But there's actually a couple of points where it's not quite funny. There's actually some serious fights and... So it took a little bit of a dark turn, and I didn't like it quite as much, but I still liked it.
Okay.
I just was a little disappointed on the turns that it took.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So now we'll dive into when did you re-watch this?
I rewatched it a couple of weeks ago, I think.
Oh, okay.
Just about maybe a week ago.
Yeah.
And I was looking forward to it. I hadn't watched it since. I had only watched it that one time. And again, looking forward to the cast and all of that. So I watched it about a week ago. And my initial impression was Holly Hunter, that first couple of scenes, I'm like, ugh, is she going to be like overacting in this whole movie? I was a little bit concerned with her, you know, so-called passion about this painting that she was doing.
Yeah.
And then her reaction to her getting fired and all that. So I was a little bit concerned. Yeah. What about you? What was your initial thoughts?
Initial thought was, it was a lot. It was a rough intro. Like she's an art restorer, and she gets fired because there's no funding, and she proceeds to make out with her boss, which is super effing weird.
It was weird.
So weird. She clearly has some issues going on, and she also has a sneeze. She has a cold, and it is terrible. The sneezing is so bad and unconvincing. Allison, we know Holly Hunter is an Oscar-winning actress. I loved her in Raising Arizona. I loved her in Broadcast News. And I'm sure other things that aren't coming to mind. Copycat, fine. So, but it is probably one of the least convincing sneezes I've ever seen on film. And she does it
Nobody sneezes the way that she's sneezing. Nobody does.
Well, exactly. And the other thing she does when she sneezes in her hand and then brushes her hair back out of her face. I'm like, did she forget that she sneezed in her hand?
Yeah.
And she does it about 10... I should have counted, actually.
She did it a bunch of times.
12 times?
So
this
many
movie?
times.
Yeah. And it's always it's always supposed to be done for comic relief. And it is annoying and doesn't feel convincing.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever funny.
Not ever.
I don't think it's annoying. That's exactly right. It's annoying. Everyone knows you don't sneeze in your hand. You sneeze in your elbow.
In the crease of the crick of your elbow. Yes. Like Dracula.
And the other thing too is when she sneezes, it's like a whole body
convulses. Yeah.
Nobody sneezes that way.
There's something else I was going to say. I forgot. Oh, when we were talking about Kindergarten Cop a few episodes back, or a few months back, I guess now, we talked about the actress, Pamela Reed, I think.
Yes.
So, on how she was sick, like, in the scenes that her character was sick, and how she played it like, she didn't play it for laughs. She kind of played it. What was the issue? Remember, I struggled with it. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was.
Well, I know she threw up like several times. It just went on for too long. It went on too long,
and it wasn't very funny. And it's like, I feel like, I guess maybe it's a harder thing to do than we realize. I kind of... Christina, bless you. Oh
that was a fake one.
Oh!
So not so hard.
You tricked...
Oh my gosh, bless you, Brian.
Tricked you too.
Oh my gosh! I was just about to hand you a tissue.
So,
but anyway. You did blush. You did sneeze in your hand.
Oh, I did. Well, maybe I did learn something from.
Maybe
this
it's
movie.
an acting thing.
It's an acting choice. So, anyway, all that to say, just not very funny.
No.
And if you want to see, people might be listening to this. Someone might be listening to this, hopefully, and say, "Well, fine, geniuses. What is good cold acting?" And I'll tell you.
We just did
it. Number 2, The Golden Girls. There's an episode called The Flu, where
one of my favorite episodes of all time.
The 3 of them are sick, and it is so funny and so good. And that's how you do a comedic sick. Okay?
Right. And the other
thing
too, and not to rag totally, but the other thing about it too is that's the only indication that she's sick is when she's sneezing. She is not congested. Yeah. She doesn't wipe her nose throughout the day.
She loses her coat and doesn't seem to care at all how cold it is outside. No. Her mom makes her wear the coat. So weird.
But it was like, I forgot she was supposed to be sick until she sneezed.
That's right.
That's the only time you think that she's sick is when she's sneezing. Like, oh yeah. And then the second it's over, it's over.
Also, how about, sorry family, I'm really sick.
Right. I can't make it.
Oh.
She obviously doesn't want to go.
Well, who would? Who would and who does? So, to this household. So, moving right along, I still love Annebancroft in this. I found it funny that, like, she sits in the back seat when someone's picked up. But she leans over, no seatbelt, leans over and she's chain smoking.
Yes.
She did remind me a bit of my grandmother. But just funny. I felt like the things Annebancroft's character was saying and doing felt lived in. It felt real, and it felt like she's always like this. I think this movie tried really hard to express like, oh no, this is just long-standing family stuff. And I think only in Bancroft, maybe a little with Charles Durning, but only in Bancroft, I really felt like, oh, this is just her character. This is just her every day of her life. This is just her every day.
I was going to add Charles Durning to that list because I really felt like he was pretty real in this.
Yeah.
They were the highlight of the whole movie for me.
Yes.
Their relationship is adorable, and I felt it was very real too, where they, bicker and they're annoyed with each other, but they still love each other, and they have these like really cute moments. And he's just does his own thing. He's clearly getting older and like losing his mind a little bit, but it wasn't overplayed either. No. It was just very subtle, forgetting this or just in his own little thing. Like he has to wash his car every day.
Yes.
Even on Thanksgiving. Yeah. That felt very real to me.
Yeah. So, well, not only his car, but like anyone in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Huge note. And if I'm talking too much, please cut me off.
No, it's fine. I'll let you know.
Christina, I have a sister. I know a lot of brothers and sisters. I know so many brothers and sisters.
As do I.
Right. I have never seen a brother and sister behave quite the way. I don't know their characters' names.
So it's Tommy and
yes.
Claudia.
Tommy and Claudia, the way they act with each other. It approaches borderline incest.
It is so gross.
It is so fucking, I'm going to say the F word again. Wow. Fucking gross.
Wow.
It
is very gross.
I don't know why Robert Downey Jr., why Holly Hunter, why Jodie Foster, why no one on set was like, you really think she should sit on his lap sharing a cigarette and like in this room?
If you just turn that movie on in the middle of it, you would think that
they were lovers.
Together.
Yep. He's taking pictures of her while she's in the shower. It's a form of a sexual assault where she's sleeping and he pulls the covers off and lifts up her shirt and takes a picture under her shirt.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Why do you want a picture of your sister's breasts?
It's so funny, isn't it?
Why do you want a picture of your sister in the shower?
Yeah, it's weird.
Who?
So, and what's really funny about that was...
Oh, is it funny?
About that character.
Yes,
let's talk... Yeah.
Let's talk... Yeah, good.
They touch too much.
Oh.
They kiss too much.
Yes.
It's just too much. All of it. I don't know, if they're supposed to be the close siblings, I guess, is what that is supposed to...
Right. You can be close without being close.
Oh my gosh. It's just weird.
Gross.
But let's move on to Robert Downey Jr. because I remember finding him funny when I first saw it. And this time around, I'm like, he is so effing annoying and obnoxious. I would not invite him to one single gathering at my house ever.
Completely agree. The weirdest thing about that is Robert Downey Jr. asked Jodie Foster if he could improv his lines. And she said, okay. He went on to say that this reinvigorated his love of acting. I'm like, he is so annoying in this movie.
It's unbelievable.
How about when the sister, so he plays a gay character and the sister's like, oh, you being married embarrasses me. I'm like, wow, this is totally wrong. Like, his behavior every day.
And FYI, his husband seems amazing.
Yes, and also like to me, like through then and now, I guess, really more so through my middle-aged lens. Like the older sister, who's probably like, I hate to say it, but I kind of think she had the right tactic with this family, which is leave and cut people out of your life, because that's called self-care. Like, all right, so anyway, I'm jumping all around, but basically she criticizes, I swear this I have a point here. She criticizes him for embarrassing the family because he got married to a man.
Sure.
He's an embarrassment. His personality is an embarrassment. He's embarrassing every fucking day. He goes around acting like a dinosaur. He throws footballs in crowded streets. Like, he's really a punk. He's not such nice. A punk.
He jumps on top of the car to scare them. Yeah. He's chasing them around. He's picking fights.
He's shoving.
He's just trying to be obnoxious. So we talked a lot about in Fright Night.
Mm-hmm. Evil Ed.
No, I'm not even talking about him. I'm talking about how was it? Yeah. The main character, Charlie.
Yes, yeah.
How they wrote him to be, he's supposed to be like 16 years old.
Yeah.
But really, he should have been like 12.
12, yeah.
It made more sense for him to be 12. That was our Halloween episode, if anybody wants to listen to it. It's interesting. So, it reminded me a lot of that episode in that this guy, he's an adult, presumably living on his own, but he's acting like a teenager, like younger than a teenager. He's running around being completely ridiculous, causing havoc, taking pictures randomly.
You also get the sense that it's almost like, and then you could be like, oh, maybe they're in some sense of like Arrested Development, where like maybe something happened in their childhood that bonded them super close, but he still hasn't quite grown up. Never, ever, ever is that even insinuated. I'm like reaching here for like to have it make sense. It is so bad. He's really like just so disrespectful to his family. Like the way he is cutting the turkey, like is like almost offensive to turkeys. Like it's he's cutting the turkey like a psychopath. It's so bad. None of it's funny. This is like truly terrible. Like his performance is not good.
It's just not. Yeah, and it's supposed to be funny and endearing and
making fun of people, hiding behind counters while the poor guy's fixing the boiler or whatever it is, right? He has gone through like 5 different tragedies, right? And he likes, God forbid, he likes Claudia. So what better opportunity, what better target than to make fun of this poor guy who has no family?
Right.
Where's the joke in this? I'm like, they are not nice people.
No.
And
it
really hits harder from a middle-aged lens. Because it's like, we all meet people like that in our lives. And like, to hide behind a counter and make fun of them in real time is a choice. I mean, like, I found that to be really weird. Really strange.
Really weird. And how about, like, driving away when they're trying to get in the car?
Oh.
That was part of the trailer. That was supposed to be hilarious.
Yeah.
I found it so completely annoying.
Yeah.
And he did it several times.
Yes.
The other thing that really annoyed me about this movie, so he brings home this guy to set up Jodie Foster. I'm sorry, to set up Holly Hunter.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
How many times have they mentioned in front of him that he's with Tommy? Yeah. Like, in one way or another. She's upset that Jack's not here. She thinks that they broke up. She talks about him as Tommy's boyfriend continuously throughout this movie. And they never once say, oh no, I'm not gay, or no, I'm here for you, or he set me up with you.
He calls him my love at least once. Robert Downey Jr. calls Dylan McDermott's character my love. They're driving, he's like, la da da, my love, da 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 da, sweetie, sweetheart. And it's like, but that's because to your point, it's a really weird tactic. I want to set my sister up with somebody, so I'm going to talk to him like we're boyfriends or lovers when I have a husband at home. Like,
and I'm not going to tell this woman, this sister that I'm so close to. Like, they are so close that he's the first one she calls when she's having this crisis. Yeah. They are all over each other. Yeah. But she doesn't know that he got married.
No, I know.
It's weird. Like, all of it
Christina,
is so
you're getting upset.
Bizarre.
You're getting upset. Remember the fish. Remember the fish. I mean, this movie... So there's this whole thing with Claire Danes' character, the daughter of Holly Hunter, and anytime they get stressed out, they flash back to snorkeling when they saw an angelfish. And so their little motto that you might hear about 28 times in this 2-hour movie, remember the fish, remember the fish. Mom, remember the fish. Holly Hunter hangs up the phone.
Well, and doesn't she have to, like, remind, like, isn't she's like, what are you talking about? Like, doesn't she say that, like, every time? And so Claire Danes has to remind everybody that it's the angelfish from the snorkeling trip.
Oh, my God.
I don't think it's helping. I don't think it's working.
Yeah. Yeah, and then really quick, for the Tommy stuff, the whole marriage thing, when the older sister gets mad, and it's like, and I alluded to this earlier, but I just want to make the point that if that's really her concern, like, you should be happy that he's getting married, because in the hopes that some of this behavior will calm down. Like, if he is being, like, this flamboyant, flashy gay guy running all around the city, and you're so afraid people talk, wouldn't you want him to be in a committed relationship? It makes no sense.
And they play it off.
I know it's 95, by the way. I remember it's 1995.
Right, of course.
But
yes.
still.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, even for 95.
Yeah.
They play it off like she's an asshole.
Yeah.
Because she's homophobic.
Yeah.
That's how they're kind of, oh, we're supposed to have this revelation.
She's the villain.
Oh, she finally said it. She finally said it. She is mad at him, and she's an asshole because he's gay. That's the revelation. What they should have done was have her be completely mad at him or whatever, yell, blah, 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 and have him say, it's because I'm gay. And her say, it has nothing to do with the fact that you're gay. You're a fucking asshole. Do you know, like, you know what I mean? Like, play it around that way a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was weird how they're trying to make her to be... I mean, all she's trying to do... Okay, and I can't believe I'm defending her, because when I first saw it, I thought she was awful.
Yeah.
Right? My first viewing.
Yeah.
All she's trying to do is have a nice Thanksgiving meal with her family. She is clearly very stressed out. She's a not a happy person.
They're not very nice to her.
They're not nice to her because why? She dresses differently.
Yeah.
And I get, yes, her parenting style I don't agree with.
She's striving to achieve some level of perfection that she sees. She's type A, but there are bigger crimes than that.
Absolutely.
I mean, like, so they have to make her homophobic because we have to hate her.
Right. Yeah. But you know what? She's also the only one that's left home. Like, everybody else moved away. Mm-hmm. Everyone else moved away. And she is stuck, basically, taking care of her parents and holding the whole family together. Yeah. And they clearly do not recognize that.
They don't appreciate
it. But even she, she's like, nope, I'm going to be right back here tomorrow to take Mom Christmas shopping.
That's right.
And it's a very subtle, small thing that she says, but I picked up on it immediately. I'm like, this woman is taking care of everybody and nobody appreciates her.
And the movie is against her.
Yes.
The movie is siding with Holly Hunter's character and Robert Downey Jr.'s character. Where, hey, just have fun and be yourself.
Just be irresponsible.
It pissed me off. So I just got chills, actually. It pissed me off so bad. No, because it's really irresponsible, this movie, this screenplay, because at one point, much closer to the end of the movie, she goes and she's working, this older sister, Joanne, is working working out in the basement with her annoying daughter. That's another thing. Yes. Holly Hunter goes downstairs and they have a tense conversation. And the one thing, like the sister says, because Holly Hunter's just kind of like living her life doing her thing. Oh, because they open the door and she's making out with Leo. Okay.
Oh my God. And that's so the other thing. Oh my God. They're making out on the porch. They're ringing the bell. Yeah. Do they not hear the bell?
It's so gross.
Do they not hear the door open?
Right.
Do they not hear the brother-in-law standing there?
It's supposed to be so funny, Christina.
It's so stupid. It's so unrealistic. Yeah.
So here we go. She says, Joanne says to Claudia, Holly Hunter's character, maybe I should just run away like you and Tommy did. Mm-hmm. And Claudia says, maybe you should. What's the worst that can happen? I wrote down, are you fucking serious?
God.
Your parents are old. Your mother chain smokes. And, like, Dad's
losing his mind a little bit.
They need help. They have a huge house they have to take care of.
And she has a family. She has a husband.
Yeah.
She has a daughter.
Yeah.
How completely irresponsible.
Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting you.
Yeah, no.
I'm like, no, you are so ignorant.
Yeah, she's so irresponsible.
Irresponsible and ignorant to like what a house and home
just move away
entails.
Yeah, exactly.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just move.
Yeah. And it pissed me off because the Joanne is not really given. She has a really great moment though when she says, "If I met you on the street, I would take your number and never call you." And I am telling you, as someone through a middle-aged lens, and as someone who has had to cut people out of my life, that is called self-care. It really is. It's brutal honesty, but you have to look out for yourself. This family treats her like garbage.
Right.
Her sister is really condescending. Claudia is really insulting. Doesn't appreciate anything the sister has done for this family. And so you know what? Yeah, bye now.
And they're bullies. And
yeah,
how about the turkey? The turkey lands on the lap, which was, some sort of an accident. I don't think he purposely threw it on her lap. But when they go to lift the turkey up...
everything falls out.
And they lift it up over her head.
And they hold it. And it dumps all over her dress.
And they're laughing about it. Like, what? You guys are jerks, man.
Yeah. And
who does that to another person?
And then she yells, but again, the movie is against her. There's taking the other side.
Like, we're supposed to laugh at that.
I probably would have started a full-on food war. Not even a food fight, a food war. Or I probably just would have been like, you know what, I have to go. Let's go.
I would have taken that turkey and thrown it across the room and left. I really would. I would have been like, "Fuck you guys."
Yeah,
I'm gonna go.
I absolutely
my own
like,
turkey.
She stays,
and she stays.
And so they're putting things on her dress. And at one point, Claudia says, "You know, Joanne, I have shirts you can wear." There's another weird thing. Did they give Holly Hunter the cold to cover up her accent? She sounds like no one. She sounds like no one in her family. Yeah. But anyway, I digress. So. I really didn't care for this movie, and it kept letting... I loved it. I just kept getting let down by it.
Yeah.
Because then you were kind of hoping, Leo, I mean, God bless, he looks like Prince Charming. He's really handsome. Yes. However, if you truly sit there, because I started really paying attention, I was I'm trying to find something out of this movie. When Leo and Claudia are together, they don't have a real conversation.
No, they do not.
It's all statements. Does that make sense? Do you know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
I didn't write down any of the awful dialogue, but it was
I don't know if I haven't really looked at my notes.
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine, honestly.
So, but eventually Leo and Claudia hook up, but the things they say, Leo goes from charming to skeevy real quick. Real quick.
I have that written down somewhere. I said I don't really buy him as being insecure. At one point they're trying to show that he's insecure.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, he's just trying to seduce her and play her.
Completely.
He does not come across as sincere at all.
Yeah. And then I'm trying to remember why this happened.
He wants to have sex with her the day that he meets.
Completely.
The day that they meet.
It bothered me so much. He really is a bit aggressive with her, which is not aged well at all.
Not at all.
And he's not really communicating with her. She is saying things, and there's no banter. It's I'm trying to give you an example. It's almost like she could say something like, "Leo, honestly, why?" It's like, "Leo, why? Me? Why me, Leo?" And I'll be like, "Do you ever notice in life how life just sort of hands you, it's like they're not talking. They're not. It's so bad.
Yeah, it's not a good conversation at all.
No, and they have multiple. I didn't think they were great.
I liked them better when she thought he was with Tommy.
Yeah,
I liked their conversations better.
I liked her best when she wouldn't let him go into her bedroom.
Yes.
But then, of course, it didn't work out anyway. But I wasn't really rooting for them. I felt because also they were both pure and total rebound.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Leo just seems so hard up. And then Claudia...
Which is weird, because he's cute.
Right. And then Claudia is just like, she's lost, her job and her, her husband, when she got divorced or whatever. I don't know. But it's like, to me, they are not a great match.
No, they really, really aren't at all. What did I say? Oh, I loved, actually, I'm just looking through my notes. Most of them I've already spoken about. I do love that scene when the sister and the husband and the child are in the car and they're trying to prepare themselves for Tommy. Mm-hmm. I really, really liked that part, because I can totally see us doing something like that. Like, all right, this car's here.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a breath.
Thank God for that character in some ways. Like Joanne and her family, because... I mean, if they made her wacky,
Can you imagine?
Oh my God, this would have been so exhausting.
It was exhausting anyway.
It was exhausting anyway.
It was a very exhausting.
It made me angry watching this movie. I'm like, I'm not finding the joy.
Because it was annoying. That's why. Everything about it was annoying. And then even with the children, every time they were on screen, they were annoying.
Oh my God!
Dancing in the kitchen when they're trying to get ready.
Oh, okay, yes. So that's a note I have. So Robert Downey Jr. How does he get wet? Oh, the hose. The dad sprays the hose.
They spray the hose, yeah.
Okay, so...
Which, by the way, I love that he basically is beating up Tommy. Steve Guttenberg, the husband, is like so pent up, and he's like finally gets an opportunity to beat him up.
Yes.
I felt it.
Yeah. Although Dylan McDermott's character gets punched in the nose, no bruise, but he gets like wiped out on the ground. But no bruise at all, fine. No. So, but I will say, so Tommy and the husband... get soaking wet with the hose. Tommy runs into the kitchen where everyone is, and the girls are running back and forth. Someone's trying to wrap leftovers. All this commotion. The mother, in Bancroft's character, is like, "Oh, Tommy, your hair. Let me dry you off, sweetie." In the kitchen. Like, really? First of all, he's a grown man. Be like, "Tommy, you're soaking wet. Get out of my kitchen." She would not be like, "Tommy, here, let me dry you off." She would say, "Get out of my kitchen, go to the bathroom and clean yourself up."
Yeah.
Like, but no. Because why, Christina?
Because he's the baby of the family. He's the favorite of the family.
Why does the movie do it?
Oh, I would say because it's chaos. It's like all chaos.
That's my note.
It's usually an 80s move. But yes, the whole movie is 80s chaos.
Yeah. Oh, the aunt falling asleep with her legs spread open, asleep on the stool. She was a terrible character. I actually felt bad for her, and I honestly was like, she should not be living alone. I felt
really bad for her too. Yeah, that's definitely a middle-aged lens, right? Yeah. Like you're like, nope, this woman has mental illness.
She kissed someone 50 years ago and can't forget it.
Right.
Oh my God.
And that was a weird thing too. Clearly the wife didn't know about it because she had a very surprised look, but it never really went anywhere.
Nowhere.
There was no reason for it.
Nowhere.
But yeah, you really were concerned for Aunt Gladys. I liked her as a person. I thought she was actually cute.
I think she just needed help, and that she wasn't going to get it from this family.
They're all making fun of her.
Yeah.
And one thing I did notice, actually, and this was like a directing thing. Sorry, Jodie. I noticed during the Thanksgiving dinner when people are talking back and forth, sometimes Gladys was fast asleep, and sometimes she wasn't. Between sentences.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I noticed that.
Oh, brother.
But poor Gladys.
Yeah.
My God, what else?
I just wrote, I groaned every time Robert Downey Jr. appears. That's how bad it got for me.
It was too much. Too much.
At one point I wrote, "Just leave her alone, Leo." And then Holly Hunter, when she's like, Leo. I'm like, no. You met him today or yesterday. Can't figure it out.
Right.
How in the world is she so... How about the dad? Penny for your thoughts. I let Leo get away. First of all, stop with the fake... Stop. It's fake drama. It's fake.
Yeah.
He is your brother's best friend. You have his phone number. You know where your brother lives. Yeah. Just be like, "Hey, Leo, call me when you get home."
How am I ever going to get in touch with him again? He's gone forever. I was laughing. First of all, I loved the dad's reaction to Tommy getting married when he was like, did you wear a dress?
Yeah.
And then, but that was like his only concern. Like
That's right.
He didn't care to get married, but he was just a little concerned that he might have worn a dress. But then someone said, you thought Tom and I were, and I wrote, everyone did.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you acted like you were together. It was multiple times.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, it's so dumb. So dumb.
I noticed one thing, and I don't know if this was a directing or a continuity issue. Leo and Tommy are leaving, and their car isn't scraped at
oh my God.
all. The car just starts to the point where I was like, wait, they're getting in that car that didn't scrape it off yet. And I'm like, sure, maybe Tommy is just that crazy.
Right.
But there's no way they could stay out of that windshield or their back windshield.
Bad. I loved that both parents at one point in time subtly mentioned Christmas is coming and they're like dreading it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Although I did fear, I'm like, oh God, were they planning a sequel for this thing?
Well, maybe.
Okay, then, so throughout the movie, there are these title cards that say like,
right,
breakfast,
like the parents.
The parents, yeah. And then at one point it says, the point. And I'm like, you know what? This is, I'm sorry, it's gaslighting.
Yeah.
To me, it's like, so Holly Hunter's character goes down to the basement and there's her dad watching all these old home videos of them as kids and you know
it's super stupid because they're all spliced together, all different time frames, all different scenes. There's like 2 seconds here, 2 seconds here. Who did that? No one did that. So dumb.
But here's the thing. I'm going back to this. I want everyone to know, because I know the holidays can be tough for people, winter depression, everything else. You don't have to go to your family event. You really don't. You have to take care of yourself. And if your family drives you this crazy, there's not enough home videos from the past in existence to make you be like, you know what, but we used to get along so well. You know why you got along so well? Because you were 5.
That's right.
You were 5 and you had no real responsibility.
Your parents made you.
Right. You were forced to. And now that you've grown up, you have your own identities, it's okay if you're not crazy about each other. You don't have to sit in a, thing that makes you uncomfortable. And this movie really is kind of pushing that point. It's literally called The Point.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that point at all. That is a middle-aged lens thing. Christine,
I think so too.
How do you feel?
I do.
You're
feel
close
like...
to you have a much I think a much more I don't want to say wholesome. What do I mean? More traditional, I guess, upbringing. Like your parents were married the whole time. You have a lot of siblings and all that. What did you take from The Point?
I can see why people feel like they have to go home for the holidays.
Yeah.
When they're in their 20s.
Yeah.
However, when you get past your 20s, when you have a family of your own, when you have responsibilities and jobs and only a certain amount of vacation time and only a certain amount of money to travel back home, I think that there is a point where people can just say, no, you don't have to come home. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I have a friend, Kim, who her and her husband both moved away from their families. And I will say the families give them a hard time every single Thanksgiving because Kim is like, we're staying home with our kids.
Yeah.
We're not going to travel on Thanksgiving. First of all, it's a shitty time of year to travel.
Yeah.
But she's like, we're not doing it. And their families give them so much shit for it. Mm-hmm. So I can see that end of it too. For someone who's not quite as strong, they feel like they have to. I think it's maybe even worse when you're single. Mm-hmm. And so they're like, well, what else are you going to do?
Exactly.
Right? That sort of thing. So I can see a lot of different ways about it. But I think when you get to a point when you're a little older, it's like you don't have to go home.
Yeah.
Especially if you have this like really toxic relationship with your sim.
And if you're not treated well.
You're not treated well. Exactly. Yeah. It doesn't make sense. Why? Yeah. Just because it's tradition? Yeah. How about going home at a different time when it's not as stressful?
I was just going to say that, because otherwise you're just taking up space. Like, Holly Hunter's character, for the most part, just, like, walks around, like, looking at people weirdly. Yeah, she's not really doing anything. And so it's like, then what was the point of this whole big trip?
She certainly isn't helping.
She's not helping. She didn't help with anything. Believe it or not, I don't have too many other notes.
Oh, I do have one note. Did you find it so sexy? First of all, I will say one positive.
Okay. Yeah.
One positive. I totally got super cozy vibes after hours with the turkey sandwiches.
Oh.
I loved that. I loved that they made, like, I'm like, oh, see, now that's my favorite part of Thanksgiving. Like, after you have the big meal and everything's cleaned up and people are kind of doing their own thing a little bit, and now it's a little bit chill, and, you know, the lights are a little bit dim, and you go and you have, like, a nice leftover sandwich. It's the best.
I also just like staying up late. Like, you know, and like talking when things have calmed down and, you know, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you have your pie maybe.
Exactly.
That was amazing. So that's a positive.
My favorite scene was when Annebancroft, they have that little secret door in the kitchen, and Annebancroft's sitting there with this cigarette, of course, and Holly Hunter's talking to her. I just think that was such a really nice Annebancroft moment.
I really like that too.
And I think she passed away, I think, 2005, but I think she... such a great actress and so really so good in this. It's too bad the movie is not good. And
then my other note is I have two more notes. During that turkey sandwich scene.
Oh, I think I know what you're gonna say.
When she's
getting in the chair. Sitting in the chair. Oh, with her leg. Yeah.
Picking turkey out of his teeth.
Oh my God. I see. Oh my God. I don't think I noticed. I don't think I caught that.
Oh my. She was looking into his mouth. She's like, wait, I get it.
Oh my God. Yes, you're right. Oh my God.
It
gross.
Was so
I'm talking
nauseating.
And before that, they're gross together. They're so gross. They're incestuous.
So.
And
no, that was him and Leo. That was her and Leo.
Oh my God. Then yes. I'm so sorry. Yes.
That was her and Leo.
Yeah. I'm talking about when Robert Downey Jr. is sitting at the table, and it's just her and him. This is, I think, also after hours. She's talking to Tommy, and she kind of climbs into the dining chair in the kitchen. She is showing an awful lot of leg, and I'm like, clearly Holly Hunter thought, this is my sexy performance. I want people to see a different side of me. Like, I did the piano for Christ's sake. Right. Like, I did brass. You know, it's like, this is going to be like my sexy fun time. Yeah. The problem is her co-star is playing her brother. It's so gross. It's way too come hither. And yes, Christine, I apologize. I remember that the Leo picking gross. I thought you meant
She's
Tommy.
She's sexier with her brother than she is with her alleged
more
date.
Naturally sexy with her brother, which is even more disturbing. I mean, it's so bad.
And then my last note. Sorry, did you want to say something?
Oh no, good. Sorry. I have one more note.
My last note is, it's Thanksgiving weekend. What is known about the Thanksgiving weekend in terms of travel, Brian?
It's awful. And you have Friday off. You typically have the four days off.
It's the busiest travel weekend of the year.
Oh my God, Christina, you know what you're getting at. You went about it a different way. Good, yeah.
Naturally, when you go to sit in an airplane, there's only going to be like 3 people in it, right?
And continue, because I have another note about that.
And
we have the same
you can
note.
get a ticket immediately and just pop next to the chair right next to you. It was so bizarre to me that this airplane was empty. There were 3 people in it. And then he comes and gets the chair to sit next to her.
Sitting wherever you want, by the way.
Right.
Like, he could just sit wherever he wants. Because later on, they show them sitting side by side.
That's right.
And I get it. The plane is mostly empty. But that's an excellent point, because she's going to Chicago.
Yeah.
And where did she go? Boston? I don't remember where they went. But it's...
Well, a major city. It's either Boston or New York or something. Yeah.
So it's nuts that this plane is empty. Nuts that he can just sit wherever he damn well pleases. It was nuts that he was able to get a ticket, pay for it, same day.
Did he even know what flight she was on?
Of course not.
Did she tell anybody what flight she was on?
And what's the action plan there? Fine, they'll have the weekend together.
They join the Mile High Club.
Oh my! He has a one-track mind.
That is true.
Gross.
And what does he do? What does he do for a living?
We don't know.
He can just hop on a plane and just go to Chicago. I mean, to go to wherever.
No, there's the basis of a great relationship.
Yes, for sure.
And so the plane, I just wrote, "Oh my God!" End this scene.
Yeah, it was just bad. I'm sorry. This was very bad.
So the big question: more, less, or about the same?
I'm gonna say less.
Much less for me, and I didn't even like it before.
Yeah, and I liked it like a solid like.
It's bad, and I'm gonna say Carl. It's funny. So Carl's like, "How did you like the movie?" We didn't watch it together. He lucked out on that one. So I was like, actually, I said it's disappointing, because one thing I really like crosstalk in movies. Like Woody Allen, Hannah, and her sisters. I like the dinner table as a stage, so to speak. I like crosstalk. I like when it feels natural. Nothing in this movie feels natural. Nothing. And Carl reminded me, he's like, and I said it was very annoying because everyone was yelling and stuff. He's like, that was annoying to you? And I was like, yeah. He's like, Brian, he's like, your favorite shows are The Real Housewives. All they do is yell across dinner tables. And I was like, but you know what? It's much more convincing than any of the performances in this movie. Yeah, and I was like, that's a really good point. I love like the dinner parties from hell on the Real Housewives franchise, but this movie's just bad. So a little bit of trivia. I have one note of trivia. The budget was $20 million. Box office was $22 million.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think the exit grade it got at the time of release was a C. So it was not well liked. I think critics liked it a bit more than the American public. But I do have a match game.
And I have an FMK.
Ooh. Do you want to go first?
Sure. All right. So my FMK, I think I already know what you're going to say. Tommy.
Okay.
Walter, who is Steve Guttenberg's character. And Leo Fish. With Dylan McDermott. I know you're not taking that long deciding this.
Oh my god, one moment. Ding.
Yeah.
Killing Tommy.
Of course.
Which is problematic because he's the gay one.
Oh. But that has nothing to do with this obnoxiousness.
I know. I wouldn't
right?
want anything to do with this guy. And then I would marry Walter because he's level-headed, logical, seems successful.
Stands up for his wife.
Absolutely. And then I would F Leo because he's cute.
Of course. What else would you do?
Exactly.
That's the easiest FMK you ever had.
Ready?
Yes.
Joanne, the older sister, said, I knew they didn't want me at Thanksgiving dinner anyway. My invitation was written in blank. Oh, really? Okay. All right.
Oh, wait, can I change it?
Yes, you can.
All right, I'm going to change it. Okay.
I have 3 answers, but I'm picking.
Ding.
Okay. I knew they didn't want me at Thanksgiving dinner. My invitation was written in blank.
Disappearing ink.
Ah, yes! I heard disappearing ink. Oh my god, it's right there.
My first initial was blood.
Blood, and then my other one was gravy.
Oh my god, I thought
like
gravy
just greasy,
as well.
gross gravy.
Disgusting.
Please come.
Ink.
Yeah,
that's funny.
And that, friends, was home for the holidays.
And
and
happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Are there any Thanksgiving songs? I was thinking of that.
Over the river and through the woods.
Is that Thanksgiving? The Grandmother's House We Go?
Grandmother's House We Go. Yeah, I think so.
Well, listen.
And then Alice's Restaurant is kind of a Thanksgiving song.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, listen, happy Thanksgiving to all who celebrate, and thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
And that's it for us and for this episode of Old Roommates.
Thank you for listening. Please remember to follow us on Instagram or YouTube, where we have our episodes as well as a little extra.
And if you have any questions about our show, any suggestions for movies we could revisit, reach out to us at oldroommatespod@gmail.com.
Thanks again for listening.
This is Brian.
And this is Christina. Until next time.